What's going on, everyone? Jared Leon here with pattetns Traders. Just want to make a quick trade recap from the other day. Today I didn't take any trades. Took the day off. Needed a mental break. Yesterday I took about, I think, 4 trades, 3 different tickers, and all of them losers. And so I really just want to dive into the patterns I was trading and some of the things, that the mistakes I made, and what I need to do to kind of correct those things. So we're gonna start with NBEV. The pattern I'm playing here was a breakout over a red candle, breakout around like 33.5, 33.6. Breakouts over red candles are not ideal. A lot of shorts and sellers in there weighing this thing down, so it's gonna really need to prove itself in order to and suck in all the shorts and trade a lot of volume for it to really kind of squeeze shorts and have that move through that key level. So let me just dive in here a little bit. So it was gapping up, testing a key level, and you can see it does break out a little bit, but not convincingly at all. And my problem with this was I'm just taking it a little too early. I know that it's over a red candle, and I know that I need to give this time to really suck in shorts, fail to break down, and then if it really fails to break down and it fails to meet like the shorts expectations, and it starts to push higher and prove that it wants to hold and break through that key level, shorts will have to cover their position. You get momentum buyers coming in, and that's when you can finally have the squeeze / move that you really want to see. So me buying it, I bought some here at like 34.8 when it was breaking this morning high of day, and it was just too early. And it came and cracked back down. Ended up having to just cut it. I took another position here at like 33.5, 33.6 when it was coming back. Held VWAP, made a double bottom here at 31.5, which I liked. I liked that it was coming back. A little perk in volume, as you can see, but we double topped and then we started to fade. And I was risking this 31.5, so I ended up cutting it here. And then it just failed to break down. It held 30 cents really, really well. And then perked through VWAP. You can see volume fades, fails to break down. Volume starts to pick up a little bit. We get that VWAP reclaim, and then it proves that it wants to break through that key level. And does break through high of day, has a nice push up to 39.47. Nothing crazy. There were a lot of sellers in this, and as you can see, had a nice gap down after hours. So let me see. This is just something to where I just need to be a little bit more patient. Ideally, the ideal way to play this would have been maybe the VWAP reclaim, getting a starter, adding as it's breaking through that breakout level, and selling into the push and just taking my single. That would have been the ideal way to play it. And that's just patience. It's being patient, watching this thing, watching how it fails to break down, and taking advantage of this quick little squeeze that it has through, VWAP, the key level, the breakout level, and then that high of day. So that was NBEV. Next we had Pets, and this is just another breakout play. So the first breakout was in the 370s. Your second breakout level was in the 430s. So here was the other day. I missed that original breakout in the 370s, and we had a nice spike all the way up to the low 4s, to where it was testing this breakout level. And I mean, this was kind of like just bread and butter. Failed to break down, kept making higher lows. Once volume started to really pick up a little bit, it gave you a really nice move from the 430s up to 5. So a nice quick, single there, but I missed it. And so instead, I was just starting to get FOMO because I missed both the breakout kind of plays that it's set up. And as you can see, volume completely fades. And this fades back to VWAP towards the breakout level. It does hold, but the very weak bounce on very low volume. And so I got FOMO and was looking for this to, maybe break high of day and have a push from 5 to mid 5s. And I just didn't read the volume. And so I just got a little FOMO, saw this was making a higher low and wanted to get a starter. And it ended up just cracking on me pretty bad. I was risking the low 460s here, and it kind of washed through my stop a little bit. So that's the mistake I made here. Was I can't have FOMO. And yes, I see that it's, it came and hold, and I got to read the volume better. Need to read the volume, need to read the price action, sorry. And I just failed. I failed to do that. And so that is what really kind of killed it for me on this one. And they're little things, that I can easily change and whatnot. But like the mental part of it, is the hardest part, is getting in your own head and really trying to think like, okay, am I reading the volume? Am I reading the price action? Do I know that it's a low float, low market cap? Like, what's the pattern? All these little things that you need to check off. And sometimes I check most of them off, but there's one or two things that I haven't checked off that I didn't think about or forget about. And I enter a trade, and it's that one or two things that I forgot about or didn't check off is the thing that kind of bites me in the ass and makes me lose on the trade. So, no crazy big losses. They're all starters and they're all smaller losses, but all of these together added up. I think I lost like $150 the other day. So nothing crazy bad, but just annoying. And then let's see. The last one we have is MJAM. This was just a first green day play. It was gapping up. Low float, low market cap. And so I'm on the right track here. I'm watching the right plays. I was just waiting for this to fail to break down, come back and recover VWAP open price, break through that high of day. And I was looking for exactly what had happened, is a nice late day squeeze. Let me show you how I played it. So I saw it after it made this double bottom here, and it was starting to curl back. And I was holding this high of day. I took a starter here at like 438. Just 100 shares. And we got a nice perk up to the 460s and then smacked all the way back down into like the 420s. And I was so just like convinced that this was going to make a move. And I was still convinced that, maybe that, yes, this sucked back down. But I just had a feeling, as long as it's held 4 high 3s, that this could have a squeeze into the close. And so I ended up adding another 100 shares prematurely, and definitely emotional add at like 425 and was risking 407, whatever this low was here. And of course it stops me out, puts in a low of like 404. So it held 4 to a T. And this was like a bigger loss for me too. I think it was like a $70 loss or something like that. Bigger than it needed to be, but just premature buys. And I should have given this a little bit more wiggle room. And I failed to, I stopped out and was just kind of upset that I had stopped out and was like, whatever, I'm done. And just walked away for the day, and it had held for beautifully. If I would have just waited and been a little bit more patient, let this prove that it wanted to hold, I could have been buying into the low fours and selling into the low fives and made $1 a share. But instead, I played it just a little too soon and got stopped out right as it was holding and missed out on the move. So it's just stupid, small little mistakes yesterday that really kind of just killed it for me. But it's just, I think the key takeaways is that, I'm watching the right stocks. Low float, low market cap, ideally has news, trading good volume compared to the float, and trading the right pattern. So this was just first green day gapper. Look for it to failure to break down. As long as it holds VWAP, open price, high of day, those key levels, it could possibly have a squeeze. And so I have the right idea. I'm watching the right tickers. I know the patterns. I'm just mistiming them. And so I think the key thing for me is to really, really, really not focus on the money. My starters need to be so small to where I can lose 10 to 15% and not, not be affected by it. And then when the stock proves itself and works out, that's when I can add some actual size and ideally be playing, maybe get a stupid starter here, like how I did in the 430s. Like I'm allowed to, we're only human. I could be a little emotional, but I just need to be smart about it. Take the super small size, and then as it proves it wants to hold 4, be adding into the low 4s, and then selling into this push into the low 5s. That's ideally how I should be playing it, not getting a little bit too big of size to where I don't want to be risking $80 to make basically like 120, 150. I'm trying to really minimize the risk, and then as it proves to me that it wants to hold and hold key levels and show that it has the potential for a squeeze or a next leg up, to be really getting the size into that move before it takes off. And so just trying to adjust a little bit and help with my timing. And I think a smaller starter with bigger wiggle room should help with that. And then as it's proving itself, I can add the actual size that I want and go from there. So just little things that I need to work on for sure. But it's just being patient, making sure that I have the correct position size that I'm going to be comfortable with, and that's different for everybody. You need to do whatever is comfortable for you, and then as the stock proves itself and proves that you're right, then you can add, and then however you want to risk it, risking off of just key levels. Trying to just minimize the risk and maximize your potential gains. But yeah, just a few things that I wanted to go over. It was a really frustrating day for me yesterday, knowing that every single ticker I played, I could have, traded it really well. Instead, I either got FOMO and chased it and didn't read the signs like the volume, or I'm just mistiming it by a little bit. And so I just think smaller starters should help. Smaller starter with bigger wiggle room, and then adding if it works out. That should help, I think, with the timing. And then the more I can, recognize that, hey, this is working in my favor, I want to get some ads in here. I think it should be better. And so it's something I'm going to try out. I know I've basically done it before, but I always screwed up and trade bigger size on one play and take a bigger loss. So that's the one thing I'm going to try to really be disciplined with is don't get emotional and don't size up like crazy in one trade and take a big old loss on it and be dumb and wipe out all of my gains from the day or week or month. So I'm just gonna stick with small size and try to just keep building the account. So yeah, a lot of rambling for me, I know, but I feel like it's just some good lessons and just a lot of stuff that I wanted to kind of get out of my system. And I hopefully, some of you guys can relate or at least take something from it, and just hopefully not make the same mistakes that I'm making. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you guys later.